Okay, okay, friends. Today we shall continue with the chemical equilibrium. So, one important thing I mentioned in the yesterday's class, that is dynamic equilibrium. Or you can say dynamic nature of equilibrium. They can ask you two more questions. Dynamic equilibrium. See, why chemical equilibrium is, or any equilibrium is dynamic? So for this, you have to write two things. One, at equilibrium, both forward and reverse reaction are going on. Suppose if the reaction is stopped and molar concentration of reactants and products are constant, it is not a dynamic equilibrium. But in spite of both the reactions are going on, still the concentration of reactants and products remains same, constant. That is why it is dynamic equilibrium. So at equilibrium, both forward and reverse reactions, both forward and reverse reactions are going on. But rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of reverse reaction. Rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of reverse reaction. Therefore, concentration of reactants and products remains constant at equilibrium. So this is the explanation for dynamic nature of the chemical equilibrium. Okay, now let us get an expression for the chemical equilibrium constant. So to understand the law of chemical equilibrium, one more law we should understand. This is called law of mass action. Law of mass action. What is law of mass action? See, the rate of a chemical reaction is, what is rate? Change in concentration divided by change in time. Yesterday I told you. The rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to product of the molar concentrations of the reactants at constant temperature. Or you can say the stoichiometric rate of the reaction. Because in the second year PUC, you are learning the experimental rate under chemical kinetics chapter. So, the rate of a chemical, the rate here, stoichiometric rate, the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses of the reactants. Active masses of the reactants at constant temperature. This is law of chemical equilibrium. Here you must know active mass is nothing but what you know, molar concentration. It has no unit because it is understood that it is molar concentration. Active mass is what? Molar concentration. Mole per liter. We call it as molar. But without the unit, active masses are written. Now, by applying law of mass action, I will derive an expression for equilibrium constant. And I will tell you what is the law of equilibrium. Derive an expression for equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant in terms of concentrations. In terms of concentrations. Write this heading. See, consider a reversible reaction. Consider a reversible reaction A plus B giving C plus D. Now, by applying law of mass action, the rate of forward reaction. What is forward reaction? A plus B giving C plus D. R is, you read that, rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to product of R1 alpha molar concentrations of the reactants. These are the reactants. R1 is equal to K1 into A into D, where K1 is called rate constant of forward reaction. Sorry, K1 rate constant of forward reaction. And remember, square bracket, please note this point, square bracket indicates molar concentration of A or active mass of A. Square bracket B indicates molar concentration of B. R1 is the rate of forward reaction R1. Now similarly, let us start with the rate of reverse reaction. The rate of reverse reaction R2. What is the reverse reaction? B plus C giving A plus B. By law of mass action, R2 is proportional to concentration of B, concentration of C. R2 is equal to K2 into molar concentration of B, C and A plus B giving C plus D. That means this is C plus D, okay? C and D concentration, because now the reactants are for the reverse reaction C and D. Now R2 equal to K2, call this as equation 2, K2, where K2, what is K2? Rate constant of reverse reaction, right? Rate constant of reverse reaction. Now, by definition of equilibrium, at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of reverse reaction, right? So, what does it mean? At equilibrium, R1 is equal to R2. So, from equation 1 and 2, what can you write? K1 into molar concentration of A into B equal to K2 into molar concentration of B into molar concentration of D. Is that right? Now, if you write K1 by K2 equal to molar concentration of B into molar concentration of C divided by molar concentration of A into B. See this? Now I will call one constant divided by another constant as equilibrium constant C in terms of concentration. Equilibrium, expression for equilibrium constant in terms of concentration. Kc, which is equal to B concentration. Sorry, C and D. C concentration into D concentration. So it is C concentration into D concentration divided by A into B. Is it correct? Now, what is constant? That is called law of chemical equilibrium. Now, suppose if I take an equilibrium like this, say A moles of A plus B moles of B giving C moles of C and D moles of D. Number of moles if we consider, Kc is equal to C to the power C, D to the power D, because C times C. When you take the products, C, okay, 2C, C into C. So it is power 2 square divided by, you understand? No? I will tell you later. B concentration to the power A, B concentration to the power B. For example, if you write an example like this, 2A plus 3B giving 3C plus D. Suppose this is the reaction. What you write? A can be written as A plus A. 2A is A plus A. 3B, B plus B. 3C, C plus C. Now suppose if you take C plus C now, then according to the definition it should be 3 times C you have to write. Into D you have to write. So it means what? C cube. So it means number of moles are raised into raised as powers. Is it correct? 2A can be written as A plus A. And here in the expression you have seen, they are multiplied. So what is the expression for Kc now? A to the A square into B cube. Now, definition of equilibrium constant. So we can say law of chemical equilibrium is this. Look at the board. What is law of chemical equilibrium? You see it, identify. Kc is constant, correct? The product, the ratio of, or you can say, the ratio of product of molar concentrations of the products to the product of molar concentrations of the reactants raised to the respective stoichiometric coefficients remains constant. That constant itself is equilibrium constant at constant temperature. This is law of chemical equilibrium. What is the law of chemical equilibrium? The ratio of product of molar concentrations of the products to the product of molar concentrations of the reactants. Raised to the respective stoichiometric coefficients remains constant. This is law of chemical equilibrium. I write this. The ratio of product of molar concentrations of products to the product of molar concentrations is law of chemical equilibrium. You can note down this. And based on law of chemical equilibrium, you can establish the expression for the equilibrium constant. Remember, here also you must note Kc is also equal to Kf divided by or K1 divided by K2. What does it mean? Rate constant of forward reaction 2, rate constant of reverse reaction also. This is also an expression. Now I will give you some examples to write the expression for equilibrium constant. For example, this is, you can take as one example. Another example I will give you. For example, nitrogen plus hydrogen giving ammonia. Ammonia, which is also gas. So what is the expression for equilibrium constant? Bc is equal to, see, number of moles, square bracket indicates molar concentration. Number of moles are as follows. This you must know. NH3 square divided by molar concentration of nitrogen and molar concentration of hydrogen. Is this correct? Watch carefully. So I will give you now some examples. Before that you wrote whatever is there on the board. Notice. So now I will give you some examples so that you have to write the expression for the equilibrium constant. Example 1, phosphorus pentachloride, PCl5 giving PCl3 plus chlorine. 2SO2, sulfur dioxide, combines with oxygen and produces sulfur dioxide. Or you can also take an equilibrium like general cases, 2X plus Y giving 3Z. Something like this. 2HI, hydrogen iodide, which is a gas giving H2 gas plus O2 gas, I2 gas. So for all these things, in a similar way, understand? You practice how to write the expression for equilibrium constants. See, the stoichiometric coefficients, 2 here, 2 here, 3 here, 2, 2, so 1, 1, 1. So they are all raised as the powers. So this is about what? Chemical equilibrium. What is that? The expression for the chemical equilibrium constant. Here one more thing we have to understand. How the equilibrium, stoichiometric equilibrium constants can be related to one another. This also you have to understand. See, I will take an example of this one. Okay? You can understand from this. What is the equation here? N2 plus 3H2 giving 2NH3. Suppose if I take the reaction dissociation of ammonia, 2NH3 gas giving N2 gas plus 3H2 gas. Now what is the equilibrium? I use our Kc dash. I call this as, because that is Kc, this I call it as Kc dash. Now Kc dash is, according to the definition, N2 plus H2 to the power 3 divided by NH3 square. If you observe these two equations, what you have seen here? You have seen Kc is equal to 1 upon Kc dash. Understand? when a reaction is reversed, the equilibrium constants are reciprocal to one another. This is again by definition of law of chemical equilibrium at constant temperature. Suppose, once again you watch this, I write another equation now. N2, half N2 gas plus 3 by 2 H2 gas giving NH3 gas. Compare half N2 plus 3 by 2 H2 giving NH3 gas. Now suppose if I write Kc1 equilibrium constant for this, by definition of law of chemical equilibrium, NH3 concentration divided by N2 concentration to the power half, H2 concentration to the power 3 by 2, square root of molar concentration of nitrogen known, square root of molar concentration of hydrogen to the power 3, 1 by 2 is square root. Now you carefully watch Kc and Kc1. The square root of this. Yes or no? So Kc1 is equal to square root of Kc. Please note all these things. Kc1 is equal to square root of Kc. So the stoichiometric coefficients, when it changes, the value of equilibrium constant also changes. So it is purely a stoichiometric equilibrium constant. In fact, you can also relate Kc1 with Kc dash also. Right to understand? Because Kc1, Kc is related to Kc dash as reciprocal. So it means this is also equal to 1 upon root of Kc dash. 1 upon square root of Kc dash. Kc1 is equal to. So in this way, you can establish relation between different equilibrium constant. This is also another very important point to be noted. Please note this with respect to ammonia example. You take this as an example and consider, right? Consider, and this is the second one for that. This is the first one, and this is the third one. So, as and when the stoichiometry changes, how the value of equilibrium constant changes, that also you have to understand. Please note this. Characteristics of what? Characteristics of equilibrium constant Kc. See, a high value of equilibrium constant, a high value of Kc equilibrium constant implies, you must watch carefully, product is in the numerator divided by reactants in the denominator. A high value means large amount of product is there in the vessel, yes or no? Because numerator is product. Value will be high if numerator is high. Any example you take? So a high value of Kc implies the forward reaction is more favorable. Now exactly opposite, a low value of Kc implies, or you can say Kc much less than 1 implies numerator is very less. That means at equilibrium more amount of reactant is there in the vessel. That means this reaction is not product favored, this reaction is reactant favored. That means at any time you observe the system at equilibrium, most of the components are reactants and very few components are products. That means what? Which reaction gives you reactants? Reverse reaction gives you reactants. Reverse reaction is more favorable. Now suppose Kc is in the range of 1 implies, Kc is in the range of almost 1 implies both the reactions are equally favorable. Both reactions are equally favorable. Yes or no? And from the another thing what you have observed is, according to law of chemical equilibrium, Kc does not depend on concentrations of reactants and products. Because any concentration you take, in order to have a constant Kc value, the reaction shifts to either side. Any one reaction at one particular temperature is defined by a fixed Kc value. I repeat, any one particular reaction at a particular temperature has a one fixed value. If you take any concentration of your choice for reactants and products, it establishes the equilibrium according to a constant Kc value. Remember, that means Kc does not depend on concentration. Then what Kc depends? Equilibrium constant depends on temperature. Okay? Equilibrium constant depends on temperature. If you change the temperature, equilibrium constant changes. Okay, it depends on nature of reactants and products. That is no doubt. But it is not concentration dependent or pressure dependent. Okay. Now, one more equilibrium constant I will introduce. See, partial pressure is another equivalent term used for gaseous reactions. Which term? Partial pressure. So, expression for equilibrium constant. Expression for equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure. Consider a gaseous, this is called Kp. Consider a gaseous reaction. A moles of A plus B moles of B, gas, giving C moles of C and D moles of D, which is a gas. Here you see Pa, Pb, Pc, Pd are partial pressures of A, B, C, D gases. By law of chemical equilibrium, rate of forward reaction R1 is equal to K1 into partial pressure of C, partial pressure of D to the power D. Equation 1. Rate of reverse reaction R2 is, sorry, this is R1 is partial pressure of A to the power A, partial pressure of B to the power B. R2 is the rate of a chemical reaction is directly proportional to, for the reverse reaction, reactants are C and D. Product of partial pressures of the products. So R2 is K2 into Pc to the power C, Pd to the power D. So at equilibrium, what you write? R1 equal to R2 implies the same way. K1 into partial pressure of, I will directly write, you have understood? K1 by K2 is equal to cross multiply partial pressure of C, partial pressure of D divided by partial pressure of A, partial pressure of B. So what was the expression? What was the expression? Concentration of C, concentration of D, concentration of A, concentration of B becomes partial pressure of the respective reactants and products. Now only thing is, but you know, partial pressure has a definition. What is partial pressure? Partial pressure is mole fraction into total pressure. This is the definition of partial pressure. So, only thing, instead of concentration, you have taken partial pressures. So, you can also define the law of chemical equilibrium now. The ratio of product of partial pressures of the products to partial pressures of the reactants raised to the respective stoichiometric coefficients remains constant. You can say, yes, that is also law of chemical equilibrium. Okay, now I will teach you how to write the expression for Kp. Equilibrium constant in terms of partial pressure for gaseous reaction. It is more practical to take partial pressure for gaseous reaction rather than concentration. Okay, try to understand. Same reaction I will give 2A gas, 3B gas giving 3C gas plus D gas. So can you write Kp? Kp equal to partial pressure of C Q, partial pressure of D divided by partial pressure of A square, partial pressure of BQ. Is that correct? Number of moles are used as powers of the partial pressure terms. Okay, students, can you write it for ammonia? Here only consider. Can you write it for this equilibrium? Yes. Partial pressure of ammonia square. Square of the partial pressure. Partial pressure of nitrogen. Partial pressure cube of hydrogen. Yes or no? Similarly, you can express Kp dash. Sorry, this is Kp. Similarly, you can express Kp dash. So what will be happening here? Kp dash. Partial pressure of nitrogen, partial pressure cube of hydrogen divided by partial pressure square of ammonia. This is Kp dash. And the relation, everything is same. So now I will give you some work. Okay, you can write expression for Kp. Write expression for Kp. See, all the same examples I will give. 2SO2 gas plus O2 gas, 2SO3 gas, PCl5 phosphorus pentachloride, which is a gas, giving phosphorus trichloride and chlorine gas. You can also take H2 gas plus I2 gas giving 2HI gas. So write the expression for what? Kp in the similar way what I have written here. Yes. Now I will not derive, but I will write the relation between Kp and Kc. Please note the students. So the relation is here. How it comes and all is not necessary to know. That is derived from PV equal to RT, which you have learned from the States of Matter chapter. So what is that? Relation between Kp and Kc, and this is the equation. Kp is equal to Kc into RT to the power delta Ng. What is Kp? You have understood. What is Kc? You have already understood. So what is an R? Universal gas constant. And what is T? It is absolute temperature. Absolute temperature. What is delta Ng? Where delta Ng is, that is number of moles of gaseous products minus number of moles of gaseous reactants. So one example I will take and I will show you. For example, here you have taken H2 plus I2 giving 2HI. H2 gas plus I2 gas giving 2HI gas. See, here there are totally 2 moles. Delta Ng is 2 minus 2 because this is also 2 moles. And 0. It means Kp equal to Kc into RT to the power 0. Any number raised to 0 is 1, no? Kc into 1. So it means Kp equal to Kc. So what you have observed is, if number of moles on either side are equal, okay, Kp and Kc are equal. Please note this. Next, suppose if delta Ng is greater, delta Ng, some second point, delta Ng is greater than 1 implies something multiplied by RT is Kc multiplied by something. RT is Kp means Kp is greater than Kc. Suppose if delta Ng is less than 1, greater than 1 or greater than 0. If delta Ng is greater than 0, say delta Ng is 1, 2, etc. Kp is greater than Kc. If delta Ng is less than 0, if delta Ng is equal to 0, Kp equal to Kc. If delta Ng is less than 0, Kp is less than Kc. Delta Ng equal to 0 implies Kp equal to Kc. I think with this we shall conclude today's class. So we will continue the rest of the things in the next class.